ठीक है क्लास आरंभ करिए अच्छा पैटर्न रिगार्डिंग चेंज था अपन जान चली देखो फर्स्ट जिन सब जिन अपन मानन कहबी जो माने दोचती ऑलरेडी देई सके मित्र और जो माने नेक्स्ट टाइम भी देबे जदि आपण माने भाबुचन जे दिस टाइम वुड बी मोर इजी एंड नेक्स्ट टाइम वुड बी मोर डिफिकल्ट तल से रॉन्ग नोशंस रे रहउतु कारण ओपी से एमती नहीं जे फर्स्ट टाइम जो आरंभ करी आपण मन को टोटली डिप्रेस कर देबे कोन कर दो नेक्स्ट टाइम विल बी मोर इजी बिकॉज़ न्यू पैटर्न बुझली तो आगे से मुंडरो से फियर टा काट दियो नेक्स्ट टाइम विल बी मोर डिफिकल्ट एंड दिस इज द लास्ट चांस दैट वी हैव टू डू ऑल दैट समथिंग किछ नहीं बुझ पड़े बट चांस मिलची एथर का अपन एंट्री पहुंचली देबे मींस डू इट सेडे भी कुछ बुझ पड़े नेक्स्ट टाइम पे डरियो नहीं जब एबे चांस मिलची एबे भी कर दियो तापर देखो आंसर राइटिंग रे हमर हल आंसर राइटिंग बेसिकली में कौन होते देखो जदि प्रीवियस इयर्स ओपीएससी रो मेंस पेपर मु कहबी ताले आपनकर पेपर 1 रे केटा माने करंट रिलेटेड केटा क्वेश्चन आसला इट वाज हार्डली 4 क्वेश्चंस रेस्ट वाज स्टैटिक करंट रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस मैक्सिमम कोथरा आसला पेपर प्लस 1 पेपर 2 जेटा करंट रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस मैक्सिमम थिला तो एबे हमरो जहां मु संदेह करछि जदि सी आइदर करंट रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस तो अधिक बढ़ियो नले क्वेश्चंस को आबरे डाइसी करियो डाइसी माने बुझछन कंफ्यूजिंग करियो एफर्मरल माने एफर्मरल माने कोन पेरिनियल वर्सेस एफर्मरल परमानेंट टेम्परेरी माने शॉर्ट टर्म
पेरिनियल होती परमानेंट
टेम्परेरी और शॉर्ट टर्म प्रॉपर ओके मु एक एई पॉइंट ता एई वर्ड ता काहे पचले अपन माने मत कहि परिए ये वर्ड ता मु काहे पचले
रिवर बेस्ट फाइट
हां हां
रिवर हमर
जो मैंने मेंस देखलो ताको ए पचर जो मैंने फर्स्ट टाइम नो ताको पचर मेंस जो मैंने देखन पचर ताको काहे की व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन जीएस पेपर 1 मेंस माय पॉइंट बिंग दैट बुझ पाए तो फर्स्ट मोर क्लास डिस्कशन आरंभ कला करू तो मैंने आपको कहि दो जे नेचर ऑफ क्वेश्चन ता कोन थिला डू वी रिमेंबर द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन Sufi saints, Bhakti saints, and the teachings were moral. Which पहले our very question was that कि Sufi saints और Bhakti saints को teaching टा was ephemeral. Sufi saints and Bhakti saints, Sufi saints and other medieval saints, Sufi saints and other medieval saints. को time रहते हैं medieval time रहते and their teachings were ephemeral. माने short time. What is your opinion on that? Let me read out the question. Hello? GS paper 1 question is that do you consider hala again I'm writing it says do you consider that the impact of medieval mystic saints and Sufi ठीक है देखो where rather My point being, good. Go slow, जो मैंने रखा है. I would request you to write fast. Side ही जाओ जी. लिख से ले. Question चल रहा? Very good. Time is right now 9:30. You got 7 minutes. 9:37. Write the answer, please. Newcomers and oldcomers, please write it. Please, you got 7 minutes. Write it. Don't Anthony. No need to. I won't cross check. Kahari cross check over. You will simply discuss it with me. Cross check Kahari paper over. But write it within 7 minutes. I want you to write 3 things. Write a proper intro. Write a proper body, and then write a proper conclusion. Intro, body, conclusion. These 3 things should be there within 7 minutes. Likhondo. Bhavantuni, your attention should be on the question, not over here, the question that you wrote over there. Buchhondo kain kochi. You need, I also want to see that ki apna question bhitere keywords koda ka highlight karchande. Understood? Question likh le, question pe keywords highlight kare, and then please write down the answer. I want the answer to be written down within 7 minutes. Please. जहाँ भी आस्ती अपन लिखो तो जमा डरो नहीं. The very reason I am conducting this classes is for the very best purpose. जहाँ भी आस्ती अपन अपना आइडिया का पेपर ऊपर रखो, kindly. जहाँ भी आस्ती लिखो तो without fear, without any fear that के side वाला कितना लिखी मुँह कितना कम लिखी, that doesn't matter. Time's up. Time's up. Okay, fine. Now each one of you is going to tell me what are the keywords that you have highlighted. You have highlighted the keywords in your notebooks. Highlight Kochali. I'll check the notebooks, please. Keywords are what you have highlighted. Keyboard, please. Highlight. Underline it. Next. Next keywords. 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 प्रथम टाइम कहली सी व्हाई आई आस्क्ड यू टू हाइलाइट द कीवर्ड्स ती बुझो दे कीवर्ड्स हाइलाइट करने हला रे आपण क्वेश्चन टाको थोरली पूछुछन एंड दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड द प्रॉब्लम ओके नाउ इफ आई एम रीडिंग दिस क्वेश्चन व्हाट आई एम अंडरस्टैंडिंग फ्रॉम दिस क्वेश्चन टा पढ़ी की आपण देखाओ आगे स्टडी नाउ व्हाट एक्चुअली we are understanding from this question. The question says, do you consider, what does do you consider means? Do you consider mane kaun? This particular question is asking your opinion. Again, apono ko kono laguchi. This is the perfect question that is asking your opinion. And in the answer also said that ki, according to me. That should be your opinion. Either they have a deep-seated means they have the either their impact was deep-seated or their impact was temporary. That you have to highlight within the conclusion. Generally, from conclusion ta kona ho? Did you get what should be the conclusion? What should be the conclusion? कौन कर पाऊँ? जब आप पढ़े, जब बुझी पाना तो question पढ़े blank fix धरे के वजह से धरा पड़ी है कौन कर? What do you mean by that? Upon do you when I said that do you consider that should be your conclusion. Did you get that? What should be your conclusion?
Yes, no,
Right. It should be the yes or no. Right? Well, that first in the introduction part you could give your introduction body part right. You could give the ideas and then at the end at the conclusion part you should give that key. Yes, this is accordingly this. According to my opinion or according to me that their effect was permanent and it was deep seated within the Indian society. Understood this? A through आपको गोटे जाने आपको conclusion टा कर पाए हो जाने पहले. Good. Next, let's move on. The impact of the medieval mystic saints and the Sufi poets. So obviously, a question where we have to add factual data, name of the mystic saints, name of the Sufi poets, जहाँ की impact होती है, right? Got it? That should be within the body or introduction. Very good. Next, I will rather and that whether they were ephemeral or deep seated. Now this is the important question. This is the important part of the question. Your body should be such a type. Please remember that and please mark my words. Your body should be written in such a type that it suggests that it gives your own very idea. Which by the body should be in such a type that it gives your own very idea. Understood? Understood? Okay. So how we are going to answer this question? First, what should be the basic introduction?
About Indian society.
About Indian society. Okay, see. Important point. Very important point. It says that deep-seated structure of the Indian society. So the questioner was the particular question which has been framed in this context. Is it asking about the present Indian society or the past Indian society? Or which Indian society? Think of it. Do you consider the impact of the medieval Sufi sense were rather ephemeral on the deep-seated structure of the Indian society?
Yes, sir.
Think of it again.
Both.
See, in this question, right? This is, if I say this is GS paper 1, again, analysis for your technique. If this is GS paper 1, GS paper 1 is basically on the history part. It's basically on the history part. Is it focusing upon the, what to say, on the past or the present? एटी important question doubt. एटी बुझिया रोटे अपन मानक में कुछ.
Past present society past influence करते हैं.
Okay. Past influence present society कितने आते हैं? This is the question. Sufi और भक्ति poets रो जो influence है ना सेटा past to present को कितने आते हैं? If I look into the past, think of it. If I look into the past, Hindu और Muslim भीतर conflicts है कि नहीं? Let me see. This Bhakti, let us say Bhakti sends Kabir, Sufi sends Chishti Nizamuddin. Both of them were followed by both equally Hindus and Muslims, right or wrong? But even after their following and even after their teaching, the clashes between Hindus and Muslims did occur even after their teaching. From the past to the present, yes or no? Occurred. But what actually but at the end, what happened to the Indian society? The clashes have been minimized. The clashes have been minimized. Minimized hela nahi? Minimization hela. So obviously there is an impact. Impact of what? Tolerance, equality. Egalitarian society, equal society. Understood? Now on the Indian society, when it comes to Indian society, how did they impact on the Indian culture?
Devotion to God.
Master Khulje to come.
Devotion to God was access to only the higher class people, but these medievals and Sufi saints, just like Rumi, all those famous poets, they have given access to God to the downtrodden society, downtrodden section of society. That is the one of the major impact of this.
Yes, that is one of the major impacts. See, Sufi saints, their impact can be directed, number one is in the teaching. What did they actually taught and how far it has been seated in the Indian society, right? So what should be our answer? Yes or a no? If yes, then justify please. Anyone can give me any point. Number one, he gave me 1 point. Number 2 point. I gave 1 point with respect to the teaching, right? Let us see with respect to the teaching of Kabir. What exactly points are we going to highlight with respect to the teaching of Kabir?
Religious tolerance.
Religious tolerance, very good. How do we define, but how do we elaborate that? Religious tolerance of Kabir? Acceptance of followers from various religious sects, right or wrong? What else? What else? Important thing. Give me a very important point.
And women empowerment leaders.
Oh, women empowerment. Okay, women empowerment. But now you need to give me which Sufi saint or which Bhakti saint gave women empowerment. Be very careful right now. Be very careful. If you now we need to be very careful that the generalistic idea is and we are not able to support it with factual data. Then our question will be Mirabai. Okay, Mirabai. Mira. Now look. If I say Mirabai during her lifetime, she was one of the Bhakti poets, a Saguna poet. Saguna, do you understand Saguna? Saguna and Nirguna. Saguna poets, Nirguna poets. Nirguna poets said that ki God without attributes. Saguna poets said that ki it's God with attributes. Understood? Understood this concept? Now, when Mirabai followed her devotion towards Krishna, she faced with difficulties. Didn't she face with difficulties? I think even after, when Mirabai started her journey was completely of devotion. Was Mirabai able to bring any impact on the emancipation of the women? For example, did Mirabai was unable to stop sati or prevent child marriage, or was she able to promote women's education? Mirabai was an example. But Mirabai fought against the society. Please remember this. She completely fought against the society. Mirabai fought against the society to establish herself. Right? But right now, if I am saying that the women empowerment, exactly how? Now that is what, yes, there was women emancipation, or that was the means empowerment of women. Let us call Basavana. Basavana.
Also, there was Ayanas or Alvas, women were participating.
I'm saying, coming. Basavana was there. Basavana was very open-minded. He was very open-minded to women's teaching and all. Again, Nanas and Alvars are there, who openly accepted women sense. Example, Andal, Nana or Alvar.
South,
That's he's from the south. I know. I'm saying Nana or Alvar. Okay, it's up to you to find out. Right? This is a prelim-based question. I'll not say. Understood that? If with respect to women in emancipation, then again we have to write a point. Again, देखो आज ही क्लास टा मु टिके स्लो करी ताकि आपण माने टिके कैप्चर करंतु बुझ पारे मु गोटे गोटे पॉइंट्स के एक्सप्लेन करिवि बुझी पारछन तो आज सिना गोटे गोटे क्वेश्चन को मु टाइम देबी बट नेक्स्ट टाइम ऑनवर्ड्स मु गोटे गोटे क्वेश्चन को 20 मिनट्स रो अधिक टाइम देबी बुझ पारे ता बाद आउ कोन थिला अनदर इंपोर्टेंट पॉइंट सो व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट इंपोर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट वी मार्क्ड आउट व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट इंपोर्टेंट पॉइंट
social equality and harmony in society.
Okay, first is that key. Number one is that teaching of a I would say Kabir taught of the egalitarian society. I would say Nanak taught of the egalitarian society. I would also say Sri Chaitanya taught of the egalitarian society. And that following and teachings has been embedded into our Indian constitution, right or wrong? Point should be written in such a manner. Understood? Understood? What should be the answer? बुझी पहले लिखो लिखो immediately लिखिए. Number two. Emancipation of women or women empowerment through what? Understood? Number three. What else?
Changing the
When I'm saying an egalitarian society, what do you mean by egalitarian society?
absence of discrimination on the basis of religion.
Equality on basis of what? Uh-huh. Wait. We'll not go to politics. We'll not go to politics. History वालों को जो देख ले political statement का loss देखे जो है. Now let's see.
Conservative society, liberal.
Okay, we shifted from a conservative society to a liberal society. That is first thing that you're trying to say. Okay, what was the conservative society and what was please instead of बुझो दूरी में. This egalitarian society रो माने कौन?
थोड़ा commonly जोटा available जिनिस गुड़ा.
Let's see. ब्रदरहुड माने बुझ पाइले नटल मी ब्रदरहुड माने जो माने बुझले कोन सब हम वाले कोन हिंदू मुस्लिम आर इक्वल Kabir's teaching was of monotheism, one god. Nanak said one god. Which पाइले monotheism ना मानता है बुझले there is only one god and that everyone we are the sons of one god. That was their teaching. से गोटे ठाकुरों का मैं दो संतान. That was the teaching. Yes, it's equality. Understood? Understood the point? Number one, number two. Number two is emancipation of the women. Number three.
Means to change the way for the devotion. Change the way for the devotion.
Okay. They changed the way of devotion. Right? How?
Sir, in the traditional time, we rely on the Brahmins and we
Okay.
now we can
Okay.
direct
With respect to that, I'll add a point. Right. Brotherhood, emancipation of the women. What was that point with respect to the caste discrimination existing in the society? How do I write that point? Nah, not explanation. I want a point. This is on the heading points. Over there, you have to write the body. Please give me a point. Caste-based discrimination and a point. कष्ट लागुची कष्ट लागुची टी नहीं लागुची टी कौन हाँ ना कोई कास्ट बेस्ड डिस्क्रिमिनेशन के
access to common things.
okay access to common were they in some form were the Sufi saints and the Bhakti saints in some form able to minimize the caste based distinctions? How?
Every branch of downtrodden section of society
Every sector to reach there.
Understood? In this, you need to write two things. First, acceptance of the people irrespective of their castes. Right? And acceptance of people irrespective of their religion. Acceptance of people irrespective of the caste and acceptance of people irrespective of the religion. Over here you also need to mention, please remember that you need to mention Sri Chaitanya. Important. See, when we are writing about this, we are writing generally, we need to mention some of the Bhakti saints or the medieval saints, poets of Odisha also. That is where you will gain or lose the mark. आमे जो खाली कबीर लिखी तो बा मीरा भाई लिखते बा गुरु नानक लिखता that's where our mark ends. बुझे पहले? We also need to write about Sri Chaitanya. For example, Sri Chaitanya had disciples even from the Muslim, and that is what something is going to catch the eye of the examiner. अच्छा उड़से में पूछिए, जाओ. बुझे? तीनटा part. Then next. Now, if Sri Chaitanya was now one thing is that emancipation of women, acceptance of the follower from every section of the society. What else? What else? How was that other form of employment? Just a book. What else? 3 points. What else? लिखुचन तो points उड़ाओ. लिखचन दी. अपना गौरव लग चुकी अपना idea आगू पढ़े इसमें. What else? What else more points?
Products practices.
Okay. Now that is something we will come over here. What is that?
Yes.
What is rationality means that? See, understand this very properly. What did Sri Chaitanya promote during his devotion to God? How can one be devoted to God? Very, very specific. Which Kirtana? Nama Kirtana. What is the meaning of Nama Kirtana? Mane kon?
Repeating the name of the God.
Repeating the name of the God or devotion to the God through Kirtanas. Understood? Kabir said, one should have the love for the God. Kabir said one should have the love for the God. Understood? So their form of the rationality was that rather than spending huge amount of money in performing religious sacrifices and religious prayers and all, they said that have devotion to the God. Devotion to the God through rational means, through the love of the God. That is the thing. I love the God. I accept His teaching. I do not have to please the God by performing yajanas or yagyas, or by giving lavish ceremonies, or by giving lavish festivals, or this, that, or feeding thousands and thousands of Brahmins. Feed the poor. Why feed someone who is already food poor? Promoting rationality. Now, after I have given these points, Kindly, I want you to elaborate on those points. এটা হবন যে মু লিখি যাবি তারপর আপনি elaborate করেন, then there is no point in this answer writing classes. Rationality, right? What else? Or rationality, I would say, sorry, rather than rationality, I would say rational. What else?
So it reduces the dominance of feminism.
But was there a message? Please understand the question. Read the question again. The question is all about. Eight here में गुट्टे से भूल करो, we always deviate from the question. Deviate करेंगे. Once I say that the Bhakti movement and the Sufi movement, they reduce this Brahminical dictatorship. Am I not moving away from the point what it is asking? I've already established that. Right? What else? What was the teaching that has impacted the deep-seated structure of the Indian society? We came up with equality. What was the first point? Promotion of common brotherhood. Next, emancipation of women. Third,
Acceptance of foreign
rational thinking. What else? Points, please.
Sufism.
Okay. What else?
So it also changed the cultural trait of the Indian society.
Now, what? Now this is what was the cultural contribution?
So it introduced various silsila, various ragas, by various Sufism, like Nijamuddin, Awliya.
Sama, in the popular movie Rockstar, have you seen this? Ranbir Kapoor, right? Ranbir Kapoor was giving the Sama, Rangareza, the song that he was. That was nothing but a Sufi Sama. Understood? Over here, we need to make down sub points. Contribution to music, art, literature. Cultural contribution was the deep-seated contribution of the Sufi and the Bhakti songs. Think of it. It exists till today. And I gave you recently the example. Example Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Car. Are we going to write it in the exam? So no, we are not going to write it in the exam. But yes. But you understood the thing. I'm not deviating from the point. But I'm relating that their contribution or that the form of the music, art and culture that they had propagated exists till today. Right? What else? This was a 10 mark. Wait. I'll come to you. This was a 10 markers question. Remember that. This is a 10 markers question. And with 10 markers question, how many points you should write?
8, 10, 7.1.
Now please tell me some more points. I'll not say any more points. But tell me more points. If you cannot find more points, then go back to the question. My principle. Like Dayanand Swarsil said, go back to the Vedas. I say go back to the question. Go back to the question and you'll find some points. Just a second. Hello? Hello? Did you understand that? Kuch pehle? After going back to the question, did you get any points? If no, then look over here to the back. See, all these points, right? Number 1 point was brotherhood, right? See, at the last of the statement, right? Why I did not place egalitarian society at number 1 point, and why I am placing egalitarian society at number 6 point. Think of it. When I say number 1 point is egalitarian society, equality for all and all, in that only 1 point I included everything. Brotherhood, equal status to the women, this, that and all, and everything is the end of that. There is nothing more that I can do. Understood? So last I will include egalitarian society. Right? So your doubt was, please.
Food practices we are going to change
Include that in the portion of culture. Right? Now, important, we have got 6 points. Now please look into it. What should be the conclusion? Or should we come to the conclusion, or is the question, have we answered the question? Think of it. Have we answered the question? As civil servants, we must always have a positive outlook. And our positive outlook is that India is a great nation. And with time, will strive and will come up. My conclusion would be, the Indian Constitution that was enacted 26 January 1950, that came into force, included all the teachings of the Sufi saints. Brotherhood, propagated by?
Brother Nanak.
And not Guru Nanak, Constitution.
Constitution faculty.
Okay, preamble.
Yes, sir.
It's a preamble. Number 2,
DPS.
women's empowerment. How?
Yes, sir.
Fundamental rights.
Yes, sir.
Equal rights of women, equal rights of men, irrespective of their religion, right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Irrespective of religion. Constitution has never differentiated Hindus for ethnic rights. Understood? Number 3,
Fundamental duties also.
the common brotherhood teachings. But why I am not see? It says that it hasn't been integrated. Was it somewhat impacted the deep structure of the Indian society? Understood? This is something a part of the conclusion that we should write. Understood? That the Indian society has evolved from the medieval times to the modern times. From the medieval times to the modern times, the Indian society has evolved, and the Indian society has recognized the contributions and the teachings of the Bhakti sense and the Sufi sense, which have today been included in our Indian Constitution. Hence, according to my opinion, that the teachings of the Sufi sense and the Bhakti sense have a deep-seated impact on the Indian society, on the structure of the Indian society. Understood? Understood? So, now we add a question. What else can we add to this question? Can we add a diagram?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Now here comes the point where we are going to add a diagram. Diagrams, please.
In the body part.
Uh-huh.
In the body part, we can draw a outline of India, and we can show the center of the various cities, culture and
Map of India, right?
yes, sir.
Delhi, right? Whom?
Nizamuddin,
Odisha.
Bengal.
And Odisha. This is Odisha, right?
Sir, Chaitanya from Bengal. Chaitanya from Bengal. Sir, Shankara.
Like Rasgulla is from Odisha, Chaitanya. Right. Understood? Understood? Chaitanya को मत लो पूरी the right answer. बुझ पाइले कौन कहली? आउ जदि आपण डायग्राम में आउ काउ ऐड करे बिचाउ तुम करते
Sir,
हैं.
in
पंचसखा.
Punjab.
Add those पंचसखा. नहीं बिल्कुल पंचसखा into Odisha. I am saying पंचसखा. Okay. Now let's move on to Rajasthan. Rajwe.
Punjab.
Rajasthan again will go for Mirabai.
Mirabai.
Kabir was from Uttar Pradesh. South. Please, Nayanar and Alwas from the south. Which point? See, I'm just not drawing that. See, I'll write it down. This is Odisha. Be very specific, right? UP, Kabir, Delhi, Nizamuddin, Rajasthan. From Gujarat, can I see someone from Gujarat? Some Mehta, N Mehta. What's the N stands for? Narsi Mehta. Very good. Very good. And from the bottom, okay, Nayanar Alwar, right? Koti Pakri Koti. Ah, Eknath. Right, Maharashtra we have Eknath. Now, my point being, again, diagram draw करिए भी कौन को सुधार हो. Raise your hands. कल समझो diagram में कहीं देखिए. Which question की बचा रहे? Okay. In the body itself, we have to present this, right? Body itself जो जैसे हमें represent करते हैं, what will happen is that he examiner का eye catching लेटर रहिबा, that he actually has an analysis of this. Understood? अपन हमारे बुझपन का conclusion में कौन लिखा हुआ? How I have drawn the conclusion. बुझ पहले, right? तब देखो. बुझ पहले diagram टेकिंग draw करावा. Now my question, diagram draw करे कितना time लगता? In what time period should you draw the diagram? जब भी मुँह अपन के बदलती 7 मिनट लिखिया है, हमारो पेपर कितने घंटा? 3 घंटा पेपर. How many questions? 3 questions. पाका भी कभी 9 मिनट हो. तो अपन 7 मिनट में लिखिया है कारण तो बुझ पहले. Why I asked you to write in 7 minutes and not in 9 minutes बुझ पहले? ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଆନ୍ସର କହିଲେ ଆପଣ 7 ମିନିଟରେ ଆନ୍ସର ଲେଖିବେ କାହିଁକି ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ତ 2 ମିନିଟରେ କ'ଣ କରିବେ ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ବୁଝିଲେ ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ sometimes diagrams also becomes difficult. What we can also do is go for a flow chart. दोनों diagram अपन लिख पाएं but flow chart धंधा धंधा के लिख पाइए Gujarat this was sufficient this was this that and all. Vasavana, Karnataka. Important. Vasavana and Vasavacharya, his teachings were very, very important. It was very much highlighted by the present day central government. Understood? Lingayat. Which पहले so जो मैंने means लिख ले if we would have written the answer in such a type would it have faced us a good marks? My point being. Right? Chitrajan, कौन पूछो? मैं भी लिख लिया हूँ.
Sir, in that diagram sir, totally. Like sir, it a move content file sir. So randomly sir तक.
Now, again मैं एक question पच्चीस अगर आप लोगों को उठे माने ले पूछे. जो मैंने first time taken, you can learn more from them. ये जिनसड़ा मैं 8 हिस्सा बसी की भाभी ली. Now, ये answer writing classes रो objective है ना कि आपण मानो को सेट केमते आपण content create करते हो, right? बुझी पहले my answer writing classes have only one objective that कि आपण सेट ही बसी केमते content create करियो और केमते diagram draw करियो. बुझी पहले understood with respect to that? This is one of the questions जो का आपण guess out करेंगे, right? We'll move on to our second question. I'm going slow today, but kindly don't expect me to go slow every time. Okay, now again history based question अब good tech discuss करेंगे, right? And then we'll move on. and why did the women question occupy the center stage of social reforms in India? During 19th century. Now, with respect to these questions, at least I want certain development within your answer, right? Madam, आपको back cover थे कि लिख पढ़ चुके? लिख पढ़ चुके? I want certain things out of this question. Number one is that first I need to highlight. I want you to highlight the keywords. I give right now. Right now is 10:15, right? I'm again giving you 8 minutes this time. Do not write. Please listen and then you'll write. Question exercise is over. Question exercise और टिके मुझे पता just so. Exercise is over. Okay. I'll give you 8 minutes to write. Within that 8 minutes, you have to mark the keywords. अपन किसी भी लिखी हुई कौन?
20 mark कितना है?
10 mark. 10 mark, right? बुझो ठीक है ना? At least you have to give me a flow chart or a diagram. जो मैं diagram draw करेंगे, draw the diagram. If you cannot draw a diagram, draw a flow chart. Remember that diagram is not mandatory every time. सब जगह diagram पाएंगे नहीं. But what we have every time is a flow chart. That's the most common thing. बुझी पाएंगे? So right now I want you to answer this question with a flow chart or a diagram. Right? Please go on. With respect to any problem, I am here to ask. If you want to discuss anything, you can discuss with me. With respect, how and why did the women question occupy the center stage of social reforms in India during the 19th century? This is the benefit of our answer writing classes. Understood? अपना नौकरी का points capture करते हैं और लिखी कीजिए. Kindly let not my words disturb you. Your attention should be on your papers. ଯାହା ଅଛି ଲେଖୁଛି ମୁଁ ଦେଖିବି फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन चेक करते बट एक क्वेश्चन चेक कर जहाँ पर अच्छे लिखो लिखो मैं चेक करियो ना टाइम आई विल चेकिंग द पेपर डोंट वरी
Sir, get some time.
एंड ही गेट
It was a time
out of 10-15 minutes you have more 7 minutes left. Hands up. Sorry, occasions. I do not want you to give your 100%. All I want you is that you write something and take away something from you. Which way? Then of this question, you have written too much. You have written it too much, but okay. Within the time limit. Good. See, let us understand the question first. Huh? The question says, question पूछो तो, how and why did the women question occupy the center stage of the social reforms in India during the 19th century? I have checked each and every one of your papers. Some of you have highlighted this how part and why part, and some of you have totally left this how part, why part and focused on the women emancipation or women empowerment that was provided by Raja Ram Mohan Roy and others. Bujhuti. What are the keywords right now? First, what are the keywords?
How and why?
Did the women question occupy the
Center stage of the social reform in the 19th.
question पहले? It says that how did women occupy the center stage of the social reform in India? What were social reforms? Social reforms from माने हमें कौन पूछे? What do we understand by social reforms? Please. What is the, okay, reforming the society. Please. Okay, continuous process of change. We are bringing some change. Now, what does what reform is? It means we are reforming it. For example, आगुर चलता सती प्रथा पर सती प्रथा का abolish करा गला. आगुर चलता non women education दिया जाना था. Women education दिया गला. women ମାନଙ୍କ against अन्य कौन विडो रिमैरेज नहीं करूँगा विडो रिमैरेज कर दिया गला चाइल्ड मैरिज होगा चाइल्ड मैरिज को अबॉलिश कर दिया अंडरस्टूड दिस नाउ द क्वेश्चन सेज how and why did the women came to the women question occupy the center stage of the social reforms of India during 19th century? First and foremost, can you tell me the meaning of 19th century? From which date to which date, please? Important. COVID date or COVID? 1800 to? Right? 1800 ମସିହାରୁ 1901. This is the time period in which we consider this time to be 18th century. So women reforms began in the 18th century. Understood? Why? What was the condition of the women? Number one. And why did they occupy the major question of the 19th century? How did it occupy? And why did it occupy? How did it occupy money?
Sort of the present situation at that time which forced them to be
Right.
occupied.
What was the reasons at that time which forced women that social reforms of women is very important right now? And why did it occupy? Almost all of you know. Because number one, let us address the why. Then will come how. Why? First of all, is that when I was addressing why, what was the condition of women? Women's condition कौन था? मुझे आपके हाँ okay, degraded, miserable. Now these are the words they are not going to use, but they did not enjoy equal levels with the
Socio-economic, political.
with the men. Okay. So first, my first point should be that they were not at par with the men of the society. Simple statement. Which meant par माने not were equal. Equal not. अपन 1901, अपन 19th century माने बुझले. 19th century भितर what we came to know is that the women and men were not at equal. So what was the condition of the women? This is a 10 markers question. अपन ए जिनसे तक अपन यूज करते हैं तो फ्लो चार्ट. Conditions of the women that prevailed during the 19th century. Which way? What was the condition? Number one.
Not allowed to read higher class society, or also some husbands of the women have taught them, for example, Rokeya Hussain, Sultana's Queen.
Wait, let us make brief-headed points. Number one, what was it? Let us come from the Chetan Chhuavada Janma Bhutala. When a woman child was born, when a girl child was born, what was the thing that were prevalent? Let us say first number one, infanticide. এইটা কি বুঝি পাইলে এটা এই জিনিসটা আপনারা মানে বুঝি পাইলে থিংকিং প্রসেসটা বুঝি পাইলে যেତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷଟା ଆମେ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ କରିବା ନା ତଳୁ ପୁରା ବାହାର କରି ଉପର କରିବ ନମ୍ବର 1 ଇଜ ଦ women infanticide. Number 2, education. Very good. छुआ बड़ा लगा the first thing that they need is education. Well, education given to her. Number 3, child marriage. Perfect. बुझी पाइले केमिति पॉइंट्स गुडा केमिति आसुची जानि पाइले when we are thinking from the bottom up. छुआ जन्म वाला infanticide. छुआ टिके बड़ा she must be provided with education, but she is not being provided with education. Third phase, she has been subjected to marriage, child marriage. Number 4, what else? Sati. Number 5, widow. Are we going to say widow remarriage, or are we going to say downtrodden conditions of the widows? Conditions of the widows. Yes, very good point. In fact, a very good point. Devdasi Pratha. Which one? Now, this is something that will make or change your answer. कितने का points अपन पाएंगे? Understood? Now, this thing could we have represented this in some form of flowchart? The conditions of women that prevailed during the 19th century. This, and this. Right? Why did the women question came into the front? Number 1 is that occupants of the British Western education.
rise of Western medical.
Western education, rise of the Indian intelligentsia. Who were the intelligentsia? Raja Raman Roy. Raja Raman Roy, who fought against Sati, propagated child marriage. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar propagated widow marriage. India रो के ओडिशा रो के करतला श्रीवास्तव पंडा तांकर कंट्रीब्यूशन अछि. He was also one of the pioneers in widow remarriage. बुझ पाइले? This will make or break your answer. जानी पाइले? Until and unless we have added an element of Odisha, because Odisha comes into the force field. हमें OPS का दूसरा. Apart from हमें 42 example लिखा है. सब गता लिखा है. 42 example लिखा है ताकि you also know that the person is अरे Odisha को भी जानती सी. बुझ पाइले? आओ कौन है ला? तापरे
It is the era of the Renaissance and
era of the
enlightenment in the European.
Yes, he got that key. Western education coming of the British, rise of the Indian intelligentsia, Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Henry Vivan d'Erasio.
Political sphere also.
Yes, yes, yes.
Sir, we can say
Participation in the Indian National Congress.
Sir,
Who were the women delegates who participated in the Indian National Congress? Wait. Let me get this clear. Put this clear. Did Annie Besant participate in the initiation of the Indian National Congress? Annie Besant was in Ireland.
that is
She came. She didn't participate. Annie Besant also was the president of which session of the Indian National Congress?
1917.
Very good. And it was called the which session? Which session? 1917 is famously known for? Lucknow session is 1917 or 1916?
16 लोग हैं.
एरा ठीक है देखिए बात कुछ पहले प्रिलिम से लेकर छोड़ दो
कादम्बिनी गांगुली और
कादम मैंने काम करी कुछ पहले how good in supplement you have to mention that you have mentioned very good she mentioned also she has mentioned about the 1857 report inspiration from the 1857 report okay now quick who were the lady freedom fighters please Rani Lakshmi Bai next
Begum Hazrat Mahal.
Begum Hazrat Mahal next are we into it okay find it out Mujahid but you need to find it out 942 quitting she initiated this this one radio perfect the Hindustan radio I remember Usha Mehta and everyone understood this inspiration from the 1857 report points note down করছেন না করবে আদি have you noted down the points কারণ ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ଭୁଲି ଯିବି ମୋର ଭୁଲା ମନ ମୁଁ then I am going to refer to your notes ଆପଣ ମାନେ ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଚାହିଁବେ then you are at the greatest trouble ମୋର ମନେ ନଥିବ instantly points erase भी ହବ heavy memory ଧରି ବସ ପାରେନି ତାପରେ କହୁଛି
industrial revolution, this automation.
okay industrial revolution and women started okay now this
This
see
is
this is
both
the
the
important point see this is the important point that he has discovered right now with respect to industrial revolution okay so now what it needs to be understood is that did some women come into the working sphere think of it
Cotton factory.
women's মানে কাম করতেলে
Jute factory.
women মানে কাম করতেলে be very precise huh okay tea darjeeling रे काम करते but again I would say that though women were laborer their condition was again very downtrodden they were menial labor बहुत खराब अवस्था कारण ये एग्जांपल हमने नको के it's good for us because we cannot elaborate on that example how did हमें कौन पके कि see what happened during the 18th century the caste rigidity did it exist or did not exist Most of you have written Jyotiba Phule. Why? Oh, come on. About the women education, I said Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was there, Raja Raman Roy was there, and everyone was there. But what did Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar specifically focus on? Dalit women. That's the point. Which point? Dalit women. That is the point which will differentiate. मैंने कुछ पहले पढ़ो ना कुछ पहले बस coaching. See what happened was that Jyotiba Phule, when he came to, he totally realized that there is a particular section of women, Dalit women, जहाँ की condition आखिरी ताट में भयंकर भार down हो गई है. Women from the higher caste had a different status from the women from the lower caste. लोअर कास्ट वुमेन मानकर बहुत ही खराब अवस्था थिला. दिन राति मैनुअल लेबर तक परफॉर्म करिया थिला. ताकर हेल्थ हाइजीन ऊपर के ध्यान दिया जाउनथला. वुमेन एजुकेशन इज द फार डिफरेंट थिंग. Their condition itself in the society was very downward. That is when Jyotiba Phule came to, he totally highlighted that Jyotiba Phule and his wife, they started school, girls' school for the Dalit. Right? Condition of the depressed class. Conditions of the women belonging to the depressed class. Miserable condition of the women belonging to the depressed class, that would be my statement. Which way? Miserable condition of the women belonging to the depressed class. That would Now, how and why did the women occupy the center stage of social reform in the India during the 19th century? Understood? Why did they occupy and how did they occupy? Why did they occupy? Because of the prevailing condition of the women in the 19th century. How did they occupy this center stage? Rise of the Western education, rise of the Indian intelligentsia. What else? Rise of
middle class.
middle class. What else? ସେତିକି ସରିଗଲେ ହେଇଯିବ. ତାପରେ
Sir, like you said about the 1857 revolt.
inspiration from the 1857 revolt. ମୁଁ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ପଚାରୁଛି ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଆପଣ ଲେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ତ? ମୁଁ ଏଠି କହି ସାରିଲା ପରେ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଯଦି ନ ଲେଖି ମୁଁ କ'ଣ କରିବି? ମୋତେ ସେଇ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ା ଯେଉଁଟା ମୁଁ କହିଛି ଏଠି ମୋତେ ତ କୁହନ୍ତୁ. ବାକି ଆପଣମାନେ ଯାହା ନୂଆ ଆଡ଼୍ କରି ଅଛି କରନ୍ତୁ ହେଲା.
Miserable condition of women, sir.
Miserable condition of the women. No, sorry. See, miserable conditions of the women. Okay, ठीक अछि. Of the depressed class, ठीक अछि. तापरे
Jyotiba Phule discarded the knowledge period.
that comes to the social reforms, completely purely social reforms. But yes, Manusmriti. The Manusmriti was discarded by Jyotiba Phule. That's also one thing that we can also write. But ठीक है, अधिक आई जा. Understood? Now, अपन जानी पहले फ्लो चार्ट कोड़ा दबार था. फ्लो चार्ट कोड़ा दबार था जानी पहले. कुछ पहले. Now, tell me. One more point that we miss. Rise of the social reform organization like Brahmo Samaj. Brahmo Samaj came into existence. What else? What else organization were there? Arya Samaj, okay. In Brahmo Samaj, in Brahmo, what did they propagate? Women education again. Young Bengal movement, किसका था? Derozio was a staunch supporter of women education, women participation in the politics and all. Very good. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he also propagated women's education, especially Muslim women's education.
So D.K. Karve.
D.K. Karve. Another thing that we forgot, another very, very important thing that we forgot in the case of that, how did the women's question occupy the center stage? Rise of the Indian vernacular newspaper.
Yes, sir.
Who was the one to highlight that women live in such a depressed condition? Ghara ghara parjanta women's manaka condition pahunchara, which was the thing that was responsible. That is
One of them is
Sir, Christian missionary.
Mhm.
Christian missionary.
Christian missionaries. So see, Christian missionaries, yes, Christian missionaries they work for the empowerment of the women.
That's where
Bethel
Christian
school,
values.
drink water, Bethel school, especially for the girls, with the help of key or
JD with me.
that can contributions of the Christian missionary we can write also. तो why और how तक अलग करना ना दीटा में से दे अलग कर चुनता why and how points को अलग कर चुनी 5 मार्क मिलेगा y पे 5 मार्क मिलेगा how पे मिनिमम सर मैंने 5 मार्क रे अपन इवैल्यूएशन होगा y पे 5 मार्क रे इवैल्यूएशन होगा how पे and from that you will get if you are writing it properly 3 3 6 मिल जाएगा ठीक है कार्ड हो जाता है 3.5 साल मिल जाएगा कुछ पे डायग्राम से ऐड कर जाओ कि फ्लो चार्ट ऐड कर जाओ pick if diagram what if flow chart what that is move that is my flow chart anything else other than that
Yes, sir.
हाँ बोलो
Sir, in that time, ये फोटो आश्चर्य राजाराम बोल रहा है.
okay see if we can move on with see what actually happened during the social reform yes we can move on with that yeah by right Raja Raman Roy during the period in which he was active in the Bengal Ishwar Chandra Singh Vidhak again Bengal only there were very less who were outside Bengal
Bengal Java.
पाई चार्ट टाइप का करिए वो वाई लेके मजे वो बोले सब तक आंसर होना चाहिए पॉइंट होना
that can also be done apna why or how to mode in sort of like this is one of the precise things no good this is one of the precise things that you said over here rather than going for the diagram if we can go for the flow chart that will save a whole lot of time and will become more attractive which by why how or simple say why how within the box right can we add this flow chart
Yes.
ମୁଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଫ୍ଲୋ ଚାର୍ଟ କରନ୍ତୁ 2 ମିନିଟ୍ ଦେଲି 2 ମିନିଟ୍ର y ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ପ୍ରୟୋଗ କରନ୍ତୁ ହାଫ୍ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ପ୍ରୟୋଗ ସିମ୍ପଲ୍ ୱିଥ୍ ହଁ ହଁ
वाई लेखिକି
y ଲେଖିକି ଫ୍ଲୋ ଚାର୍ଟ ମାରନ୍ତୁ କିନ୍ତୁ ସବୁ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଲିଖିବେନି ହେଡିଂ ପଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଲିଖିବେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ମୁଁ ଦେଖେଇ ଦେଉଛି if I am saying why did what was the question
Why did the always center in during the 90s century?
Why? What was the condition of the women? Number 1, female infanticide. Number 2, child marriage. Number 3, lack of education. तापर सती बुझिया. 4th रे सती. अपन जो पॉइंट्स थे एगुला लेक्चर ना से बड़े बड़े मैंने पूरा सिस्टमैटिक हो Deepdasi remains as a parallel thing, right?
सर downtrodden condition of widows
Very good. 6th number, downtrodden condition of widow. What else?
Sir, miserable condition of women from depressed class.
Okay, miserable condition of the women from the depressed class. Very good, 7 points. 7 points we got and why? Which spelling? Which spelling? Next come to how? 7 points. देखिले आपण स्लो जे होउचली होउतन कछा गति रहले फास्ट लेट करियो कछा गति छाड़ दिम जाय हाउ एंड हैंडराइटिंग मैटर्स जदि पढ़ी पारि न मार्क्स कोन if I cannot read your answer I am obviously not able to award you marks. Please remember this, please keep this in your mind. I must be able to read your answer so that I will be able to award your marks. So handwriting remains an important thing. How? Please move on with this how question. Western education influenced by the coming of the Britishers. rise of whom? Indian intelligentsia. Next. Next.
1857 report.
Very good. Inspiration from the 1857 revolt. Next.
Rise of social organization.
Rise of social reform organizations.
Very good. Next.
So women vernacular press.
Women vernacular press.
Indian vernacular reform.
Women vernacular press. See, rise of the social reform organization is a very important one. Not just Brahmo Samaj, but multiple organizations were there.
Sir, why our point नहीं होगा? Miserable condition of women belonging to depressed class.
लेकिन इनका सातवा पॉइंट है ना? देखो दो फर्स्ट पॉइंट अपन लेते हैं फीमेल इन्फेंटिसाइड चाइल्ड मैरिज लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन फोर्थ इज सती फिफ्थ इज देवदासी डाउनट्रोडन कंडीशन ऑफ वुमेन फ्रॉम द दिस लोअर क्लास और सेवेंथ पॉइंट अपन लेते हैं
Caste rigidity.
हाँ
Caste rigidity. Caste rigidity.
ना कास्ट एजुकेटेड वाज द डाउनट्रोडन कंडीशन ऑफ द वुमेन फ्रॉम द डिप्रेस्ड क्लास सातवां नंबर पॉइंट है
Women self. Women self fulfilled. So women self.
Condition of the Dalit women, downtrodden position of the widows. Downtrodden position of the widows. I'm extremely sorry. Done? Done?
Women self.
हाँ
Women self is the point.
कौन करे?
Women self.
Women's self में
Health.
health. See, women's health is an important point, and with respect to women's health, there were prevailing superstitions over there. Health was equally miserable for the women, children, and everyone over there. The times in India was very miserable. Education, health, and livelihood. That was the condition and the miserable condition of the Indians that prevailed during the British era or during the period when India was ruled by the British government. Which kind? That becomes strong. But for the 10 markers, this is more than enough. I think so. 14 point. 14 but more than 14. Go. नहीं करिए पीछे उसने नहीं करिए बट माय पॉइंट इज दैट माय पॉइंट ये बुझो यू शुड हैव योर टाइम लिमिट्स you should know what is the time limit within which I should be represented you cannot say that I'll give all the money 80 gottens of sabal man rakhe we have to be balanced if we are imbalanced then that becomes a very critical thing for us we have to be balanced at a very minimum if we are saying that कि हमें आवरी थोड़ा diagrams support से करें, but can you give it within your time limit? That depends upon you. यदि अपन देख पाते तो go for it. यदि देख पाओ ना कि you have to be very precise in that कि on your question भी कुछ छड़ you might skip out other questions. You have to be very balanced. Interview देखिए आपको फिलहाल exam question they know that things. You have to be balanced. छोटे question अपन पूरा दे देवे, जो दे दे on your question दे और पा देवे. That is what marks that you can differentiate for you. Equal time of the dam podibo. Every question I have to give equal stress and equal importance. भाभी की बट एथिकता पॉइंट होता बाहर करा छ मुंडर. मते मु मुंडर एथिकता ही पॉइंट बाहर करा. या तो कौन पॉइंट बाहर करता है. थिंकिंग ता बुझ पाते कि डेवलप को क्या करना. एक क्वेश्चन रा हमें ओके स्टडी करने. जेता हमें डिस्कस करें why women's condition. कल when we are discussing the why point we came to know that जदि हमें कोई women को from the birth till the maturity we got multiple points. Devdasi was something quite parallel with it. Downtrodden condition of the widows, downtrodden condition of the women of the Dalit class or the lower class. Which by Jadi got the next one. Good. तापरे आज मैं ऑलरेडी दुईटा क्वेश्चन आपको डिस्कस करछि बट आई हैड अ टारगेट टू डिस्कस मोर ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स
ऐड करियो
हम्म
एटी बहुत करंट अफेयर ऐड करियो
तो एथमे हम करंट अफेयर्स डिस्कस करछि मु गोटे आम ग्रुप रे सब आपन माने ऐड रेट अछंती अच्छा हिंदू रो एनालिसिस नो 19 को तो बंद कर दे रैगिंग काई कर तापर क्वेश्चंस देथिली बट नन ऑफ द पीपल हैड टाइम टू लुक इनटू द क्वेश्चंस और आंसर आपण जब देखि से तो क्वेश्चंस वाला के आंसर भी करता थे आई हैव बीन मोर एंथुसियास्टिक एंड करथनी आपण सेटा मु तो फ्री रे करछि आपण देखछन आपण माने मु 19 थ्रू बंद कर बट अगेन आई कंटिन्यू मु खाली वेट करथली एक क्लास पर एक्चुअली आर सप्ताह रे कोन ना ये दिवाली अछि तापर साइक्लोन अछि माने इट वाज कंप्लीटली जंबल्ड अप तो मैं आरंभ करथनी बट दिस टाइम देयर आई दुरुस्त है मु करंट अफेयर्स पठेबी काइंडली लुक इट बट स्टिल देन आपण मानकर आजिर क्लास रो भी सेटा आला मोटो जे जति करंट अफेयर्स मु पठेछि ता भीतर मु किछटा इंपोर्टेंट जिंस जोटा कि आपण माने जोटा मेंस रिलेटेड आसियो सेटा हम डिस्कस करी प्लस आपण को एठी लिखेबी डिक्टेट करेबी बुझेबी कारण मु लिखि दे साछि ताटो अधिक हम करबो खोजी बाहर करो
बीसीसीआई इक्वल पे देला
बुझ पाइले हां
बीसीसीआई रिसेंटली वुमेन्स टूर्नामेंट भी
बीसीसीआई बीसीसीआई फुल फॉर्म टेक कोइ देलो मते
Board of Control Cricket in India.
ओके ठीक अछि so with this question you might know that I am not very much into sports but still that वो बीसीसीआई रे फुल फॉर्म ता जानिए पे एतबे जाउनी that I might not get confused ताबे
so इक्वल न्यूजीलैंड फर्स्ट बोर्ड देला जे कि वुमेन्स और मेंस को इक्वल पे देला आफ्टर बीसीसीआई फॉलो करना
बीसीसीआई
फॉलो कर
okay well that's a very good point that could be added onto the essay रे हमें सेटा ऐड कर परिबा this is a very good point that could be added to the essay but my point is let me see again I will just put a पूरा क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करदा जानिए पे करंट अफेयर्स से रिलेटेड अपन माने कितने थोड़ा होउछन आई एम गोइंग फॉर जीएस पेपर 2 फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन what are the implications of Taliban recent resurgence in Afghanistan on the regional security of the South Asia with special reference to that was the question remember which was the question ready ke what are the implication of Taliban recent resurgence in Afghanistan okay if you are feeling bored का लागुची कि जीवा पे जाओ जदी गोटे श्योर आपण ता पूर्व छथि डोंट वरी ना मु जमा म आपण गाग बांधी की रखि देखो गोटे नि छोटे बोल जेते सीरियस कैंडिडेट्स असे मो पे हेति जेते नॉन सीरियस कैंडिडेट्स असे मु जमा मु कैंडिडेट एटा आपण मान के भी सीरियस कैंडिडेट्स को जेन पर कोन कहर माने बुझ पाइ मु आपण को मु कहू मेरा इवन मु लेखि भी देखि मो ग्रुप रे जोन भी अछन सेटा ग्रुप रे अछन ना आपण ग्रुप रे अछन ग्रुप रे लिखि जाय छन मु आपण कहनी सेटा माने भी पर्सनल please see what are the implications of the Taliban's recent resurgence in Afghanistan on the regional security in the South Asia with special reference with India? Now this question was a current related question. I mean newspaper so particular. This was completely in the newspaper, right or wrong?
Yes.
It was completely in the newspaper. But ଆପଣ ମାନେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନଟା ଆଟେମ୍ପ୍ଟ କେମିତି କରିଥିଲେ ସେଇଟା ମୋତେ ଜାଣିବାର ଅଛି। ଇଟ୍ ସେଜ୍ what are the implications ମାନେ somewhat the consequences or it implies, think of it, it can be consequences, it implies of the Taliban's recent resurgence in Afghanistan. Okay, what is Taliban first of all?
It is a military insurgents.
Military insurgents, more of, I would like to say, the Taliban is the orthodox Islamic sect
Yes, sir.
that has its basis, that has its rules and norms on the basis of Sharia.
Yes, sir.
Because today we cannot criticize Taliban right now, because Taliban right now is in the government of Afghanistan. Every particular nation is right now recognizing Taliban. Understood? Every nation is right now recognizing Taliban. Even India, though it has called back its envoy, but we are in touch with Taliban. Taliban is nothing but the present day government of the Afghanistan. That is, we have to say. That is, we have to change our outlook. We cannot say right now that Taliban is a terrorist organization doing this, that and all. But right now Taliban is the outfit or the orthodox outfit or the orthodox religious outfit that is ruling the present day Afghanistan. Right or wrong? They have their representatives, they have their envoys, they have sent their envoys to each and every part of the nation. Understood? What is the implication of the Taliban recent resurgence in Afghanistan? What is the implication in Afghanistan on the regional security? Please remember this, the key word over here is regional security. Look into the statement. Taliban, Afghanistan, last but not the least. Did you get this? Which पहले था? Question total इटा कुछ पहले ना कुछ पहले ना पढ़ना. ठीक है देखो. Question कुछ पहले ना कुछ पहले. Right? Taliban, Afghanistan, regional security. With special reference to I'll give you 5 minutes not to write the question. I'll rather give you 3 minutes, 3 minutes maybe, just to jot down the headings and on what thing you should be elaborating your answer. ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ କ'ଣ କହିବି? ବୁଝିପାରିଲେ ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ why and how କହିଥିଲି previous questions are. I want you to elaborate on those points, please. Simple elaboration. କୋଉ points ଉପରେ ମୋତେ answer लिखना ଅଛି. Let us say with respect to the regional security of the South Asia. What is the point on which I should be writing my answer? उसे ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ framework ଟେ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତୁ. Skeleton ଟେ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତୁ जहाँ पर कि ଆମେ meat ଟେ ତିଆରି କରିବୁ. जहाँ भी आपको कुछ टेंशन नहीं पड़ेगी. Who are the teachers? Over here in this class, you are free to write your answers in any possible way that you feel fit. तापरे मो अच्छी correct करिया पे whether what else could be the best answer, right? Good.
तो ये रीजनल सिक्योरिटी ऊपर है ना, तो इम्पैक्ट ऑन रीजनल सिक्योरिटी ताको छाड़ेगी।
Regional security support कल छाड़ के हम कौन? Going out of the question will not fetch you any marks. Staying within the question will fetch you marks. देखो खाली सबहेडिंग छोड़ा लिखते हैं कहाँ ऊपर हम फोकस करिया and we'll discuss of that. Even I don't know. Even I have come with an open mind. Body के ऐसे लगे किसी बुझा नहीं। मुझे ये आप लोगों से डिस्कशन करके जा पॉइंट्स फाइंड आउट करें। देखो ना मैं आप लोगों को अधिकार है। मैं आप लोगों से डिस्कशन करी टाइम नहीं दी जाए। Okay, time's up. Let's discuss further. Point. What are the implications of Taliban recent resurgence in Afghanistan on the regional security in South Asia with a special preference in India? Now, my first question to you all is, what should be your introduction?
Get me the border.
Introduction कौन सा? एक question to what should be, how can we introduce? I have already.
In the era of globalization.
Sir,
Not in the era of globalization. Again, no. I'm asking you. See,
Sir, historical.
introduction should be to the question itself.
Sir, Taliban definition.
He has given up. Let's go for the direct definition of the Taliban because I was from the very starting of this question I was defining Taliban. But rather than saying that in recent we can let's be very simple with this. What सहज रामटी बुझे आप just. Introduction में can I write what is the present condition of Afghanistan? Simply I will be writing. Recently in Afghanistan, the democratic government was ousted by the orthodox Taliban regime. Or I can simply say that the democratic government of Afghanistan was replaced by the Taliban's political outfit through armed revolt. Which was due to the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan. So let us give to the very basic understanding. Withdrawal of the American troops from Afghanistan led to a civil war in Afghanistan, in which the Taliban won the war and has formed the new government in Afghanistan. Simple जिनिस है ना. इतने हमें complicate करें नहीं. बुझ पाए? आपण को बोलो. Are you agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Simple जिनिस है. जितने हमें simple रखें, इतनी के हमें जल्दी focus करें. बुझ पाए? कार किसी doubt with respect to this? Simple जिनिस है कोई नहीं. I have no one is having any kind of doubt. Which complicated लग क्या करें? Introduction. Simply to the question itself. Now, what are the implications on the regional security? What are the implications on the regional security?
The cross-border terrorism.
Okay, cross-border terrorism next.
इसका मुझे डोमिनो इफेक्ट होता है अच्छी।
Okay, domino effect. Wait. Points lecture है?
हाँ सर।
ठीक है, भेज दे। Right. Okay. Number one was what?
Fear of crisis like ISIS.
जब थोड़े point है लिख दे। Attack वाला section में तो लिखा speed more लेने देखो। Cross-border terrorism. Next point, please.
Fear of crisis like ISIS. Failed state.
Wait. Point number 2 is
failed state crisis. Fear of crisis like failed state ISIS. Human
see failed state crisis. Okay.
violation of human rights.
I'm writing the points. Then I'll violation of human rights. कौन पढ़ो?
Fear of domino effect. Spread of terrorism in neighboring states. For example,
That is the point. That is the point. Now if you are seeing the domino effect, right, that you had pinpointed out. Chittaranjan pinpointed out that it's the cross-border terrorism. ମୁଁ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ନାଁ ଜାଣିନି, ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଜାଣିଛି କାରଣ ସିଏ ଆଉ ସୋନାଲି ସାର୍ ଦେବର ମାଇ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଆଟ୍ ଦ କ୍ୟାପଷ୍ଟୋନ୍ ଆଇଏସ୍ ଏକାଡେମୀ। ବାକି ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନାଁ ଜାଣିଛି, କାଲି ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଛି, ବାକି ମୁଁ କାହାର ନାଁ ଜାଣିନି, ଗଲା ପରେ ଟିକେ ଇଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଡକ୍ସନ୍ କରିଦେବା ହେଲା। ତ ଭାୟୋଲେସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ରାଇଟ୍ସ ପୋର୍ଟାଲ୍ସ
So it will promote small militant group which may create internal disturbance in
Okay, so let us be very brief. Small, मुझे थोड़े point पे बुझे तापर attack करे ना. Small militant groups like regional security. Okay. Let's be very pinpointed. Or
persons.
suicide group.
WhatsApp.
okay, right. I'll give you credit for the point. But yes, good point.
Also, इंडिया में समस्या है इनका सिविलियन किलिंग से इतना जम्मू एंड कश्मीर में तो इनकी आपको ये करेगी
What point? आपण मान पे टॉयलेट पे फैसिलिटी एपट अछि लेडीज स्टेट्स ऑन गाल अछि तळे पानी पियर भी फैसिलिटी अछि चल ओके नेक्स्ट What project?
So
Okay, okay. Now, what? The TAPI project. What is TAPI project? Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, pipeline. Okay. Important. Now let's move on. Let's move on with the fifth point. How do we represent this TAPI project into this point? Important. Idea is good. The idea is a very good idea. But how do we put this into a point? What exactly TAPI project and regional security implications? Take a look at
New Delhi declaration by NSF.
No. My point is take a look at how can we include that the TAPI project? See, rise of Taliban in Afghanistan could have implications on the regional security of entire South Asia. And TAPI is a very good point. So TAPI से तो कौन हो exactly? I would say that कि भाई TAPI project would be backlogged. TAPI project could not be implemented
definitely
because of what concerns? Security concerns. So how am I to represent it in that point? Delay. I can simply write that. Restricted risk.
delay in implementation of TAPI project.
Simple. Right now, I will start answering. First of all, cross-border terrorism. With respect to cross-border terrorism, what will be the implication? First of all, rise of Taliban in Afghanistan. Rise of Taliban in Afghanistan could lead to cross-border terrorism. Bangladesh. Next, Iran, Shia Sunni, and especially in India. Not my statement, what I am saying. South Asia पर ही focus देनी. I gave on Bangladesh and I have also given Iran, though is in West Asia, but will say that it's also Pakistan. Style of answer writing. And especially cross-border terrorism where? In Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu Kashmir in the Ladakh region. Which by just the number one point with respect to cross-border terrorism. Number 2 point. अपने ये points थोड़ा लिख दे ले.
Yes, sir.
Have you written all these points? Or take Kohime. तापर मुझे कौन discuss करी कल. Now right now I am erasing all these points. Please. Number two. Number two, very, very important. Please. Afghanistan. Okay. I'm giving you this. Prior to, see, what was the main source of income for Taliban? Taliban, the main source of income. Very good. It was opium. Ryzen.
Recently,
Golden West.
Let me tell you this. Afghanistan was not just the supplier of opium but also the major supplier of weapons. बुझा पड़ता? Security implications. India record over last coup.
So,
How will this impact on India?
diplomatic fallout in the context of SARC and this organization.
No, no. That will happen. I have seen that with respect to this.
Sir, drugs is in also.
Uh-huh.
Drugs in Punjab region.
Okay, okay. In the which of the states of India will be first affected?
Punjab.
Perfect. From Gujarat, move on to Rajasthan, go on to Punjab,
1,000 kilo.
go on again to Jammu and Kashmir. Bujhi pehle. Got the point. It says with specification to India. Any question, right? Understood that? Which of the states will be more affected? Bordering states. Cross-border terrorism. Which state is being more affected? Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh region. Again, we have this cross-border terrorism. Every state is being, and then we have the drug and arms trafficking that will be taking place from Gujarat up till Jammu Kashmir. Entire circle. Next.
Sir, Chabahar to Central Asia connectivity.
That is the best thing will wait. Third is that see, with rise of Afghanistan, with rise of Taliban in Afghanistan, what will actually happen is that prior to Taliban, Afghanistan was very rarely used for anti-India activity. Who are the major adversaries of India? China and Pakistan. Both China and Pakistan are the major supporters of Taliban. Our understanding is that they are the major supporters of Taliban, and they were also the first to recognize the Talibani government. So over here, what will be regional security problem with respect to India? Rise of anti-India movement in Afghanistan.
Sir, one belt, one vote. One belt, one vote.
OPR, yes, that I'll come. But a point आपण बुझ पाएगा. Rise of anti-India movements in Afghanistan. बुझ पाएगा. When there is anti-India movement in Afghanistan, it will obviously affect who? India. Will it not be affecting India? So that's the implication. But right now, what I know is that Afghanistan is not into that strongly. Taliban is not strongly opposing India. Taliban wants a good relationship with India. Else it will become like ISIS that he said. It will become like a failed state. So Taliban right now is not disappointing anyone. Taliban is trying to build good relationship with everyone. But this question was that time question, which I criticized in that portion. Understood? What else?
Taliban can use the Pakistan missile if
Now, this one thing is that what will happen right now is that the Taliban will be utilizing this. Pakistan missiles will not be utilized. But what I say is that India lacks a friend right now in Afghanistan. In case if there is a cross-border disturbances, chances are very high that Taliban will go to Pakistan. Bushman. So over here, third point that I am going to write, the access. When I'm writing triangular axis, please remember I'm referring to cap. What is this cap? China, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Allergy. Allergy. So it's a cap. That is the axis of China, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now these three are the adversaries of India. I mean, they are not very in good relationship with India. Right now India is having clashes with China. Where recent clash was with China. Last time it was Galwan. This time, come on, current affairs. This time, good. It's for you to find out. यदि कार मन नहीं वो पड़े find out करिए. Because that would be the question in today in this time's ongoing mains. बुझले? बुझ पाए? Good. Triangular axis. China, Afghanistan, Pakistan. This triangular axis, military, all these three have military supports. All these three have military tie-ups with each other, which could be possible disasters for India and other South Asian nations. Understood? Number 4. What else? What points had we written? What points we had written? Chapter 22.
Violation of human rights.
See, how is the violation of human rights with respect to inter-regional security? Be very specific. Bujuchandita, human rights and regional security are not very connected. If the question would have been, critically analyze the present regime of the Taliban. The present Taliban regime that is ruling the Afghanistan. Over there, I would write in one of the negative parts, it's that it's the human rights abuse have been taking place. Human rights abuse, especially on the minority communities. But in the regional security part, what will happen? Right?
Sir, ISI can infiltrate the Afghan.
See, I'll combine his point and your point. Your point is valid, but I'll combine both the points. What happened after Taliban came in Afghanistan?
Women are not allowed in streets.
Regional security. Let us focus upon the regional security. Heavy migration from Afghanistan to India. It was a heavy migration because of the human rights crisis, and because of this, there was heavy migration from Afghanistan to India. Now, this migration, how would it impact India and India's regional security? Please.
Change the demography.
Regional security. Regional security means something that, with respect to law and order violation, or with I would say that with respect to creation of violence and all. That is what I would.
के मामला आगो पॉइंट माने हमन आछंती हम तको एमएच अंडर को रिलोकेट करूछु.
Very good. MHA is the nodal ministry who is involved in relocating this. Done.
एमती एई करे ता भीतर केतला माने
So identity crisis.
No, I did.
It is that during this migration, there is an implication, or there is a possibility that terror elements could infiltrate India. Done. So, what should be our fourth point? What should be the fourth point?
Migration of population from
Infiltration. Simple. Infiltration of terror elements, or infiltration of terrorists. Simple. बुझा पड़ना? बुझ पाए? It's the infiltration of terror groups or terrorists. Or we can say sleeper cell. So can we add sleeper cell into this?
Yes, sir.
Can we add no-nose attacks into this point? Very good. So we got 4 implications: infiltration of terrorists, cross-border terrorism, rise in arms and drugs trafficking, triangular axis of the CAP that is not good for India, especially at this border region, and infiltration of terrorists. all these particular points are directly related to regional security and none other than your regional security. Understood? Understood this? All these points are directly linked with the regional security. Got it? What else? What more points? This is a what not question. This is a 10 markers question. Diagram. Diagram please.
Indian map show
Diagram have to be very
the
specific.
Indian map the border.
Okay. Have you written all these points? Right. First points were the rough points that we collected idea from you. These points are final points that we have done. Please remember, we'll be writing more points. 4 points is not enough. Let me draw a map of India, and I want you to kindly draw with me. Rise of Afghanistan. Rise of Afghanistan or rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan could lead the most खाली India represent करो. Drawing the India map will gain you marks, will not gain you books on marks. Which पहले? Which पहले? I have also represented Sri Lanka. Draw करें पे ऑप्शन क्या हो चुकी? Very good. Practice करेंगे. जो आप अपना serious हो. Next class में आवाज़ that's fine. Then more about a video अच्छी actually how to draw an India map on the YouTube. वो YouTube channel का मैं share कर दूँ, मैं share कर दूँ. आज इतना download कर भी class का video का. Then I will share with you the YouTube. See, it's with Sri Lanka. Awesome. So understood why I have added all this. So you can see that the 8 more dotting marks because we can write that it is specifically India like coaching states that will be very majorly affected with respect to rise in the drugs trafficking, rise in the cross-border terrorism, infiltration of the terror elements. It has right. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh again from extremist माने बड़ी करी, को माने Muslims extremism बड़ी करी हो. Afghanistan, what will happen will become the export factory of terrorists. Afghanistan could be the export factory of terrorists, co-sponsored by Taliban or completely sponsored, 100% funding by Taliban. Understood? Which way? Afghanistan being the export of the terror base. So apart from these 4 points, छोटा 4 points discuss करते हैं. Out one point take video. ଆଉ କ'ଣ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ହେଇପାରିବ? See, within the maritime में अब already we have discussed कि देखो जितने 26/11
It also
November 2008, right? Prelims से question चला ना? There was a question on prelims. The NIA, National Investigating Agency, was formed केबे 2006. आपण माने जितने सही था वो कुछ 2008 का form ହେଇଥିଲା. But did you remember that whether it was 2008 or 2006? Did you remember? सब मन ଥିଲେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର जो ମାନେ ଦେଇଥିଲେ କାରି बोलिए से क्वेश्चन टा कारि बोलिए मैक्सिमम पिलाकर भूल जाते कोच पे बट व्हाई NIA वाज कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड इन 2008 26/11 जदि आपण माने सेही जिंसटा को मन रखछथि देन आपण माने खुशी ना आपण जिंसटा को बुझी छथि जानि पे जिंसटा को बुझी गले आपण जिंस असुविधा so anyways without diverging towards any other point so ए डायग्राम टा ड्रा कले डायग्राम रो यथार्थ कोन आपण ड्रा करी कोन देखिया पे चाहछन आपण देखिया पे चाहछन एग्जाम में जे आपण सुंदर चित्रकारी कर पाछन और यू वांट टू रिप्रेजेंट समथिंग आउट ऑफ इट बुझ पाए so that he is at least going to reward you something खाली सुंदर चित्रकारी कर पाछन सेटा देखिले किछ फायदा नहीं what exactly are you representing in this diagram in this diagram I am representing the border states with Pakistan and Afghanistan बुझ पाए through which the problems will be raised बुझ पाए this particular states will be having the majority of the problem of cross border terrorism of drugs trafficking of the arms trafficking and this would also be the states जो कि sleeper cell maximally activated थे बुझ पाए think of it just think of it one more thing खाली एती states माने affected है में out states affected है माने
yes sir.
I can also point out that see in India is also suffering from Naxalism.
Yes sir.
Rise of Taliban in Afghanistan could indirectly provide a support base to the Naxal activities in entire India. But how? Kimi,
They can provide the
Already
weapons.
yes sir.
weapons. Which by that will be our number 5th point.
So they also
Rise in left-wing extremism. How? Are they only providing weapons? What else are they providing?
so they also provide some financial support to the politicians.
Very good. Financial support, weapon support, drugs provide କରୁଛନ୍ତି
Yes sir.
बढ़िया क्वालिटी ର ବଞ୍ଚାଇ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପାକିସ୍ତାନ ଏଇଠି ଅଛି और मैक्सिमम ड्रग्स धरा पड़ती पंजाब में ओपियम
Okay.
प्यूरिफाइड ब्राउन शुगर प्यूरिफाइड आपनकर ओपियम रा बहुत भयंकर भाव थाय आपनकर पंजाब में बुझले so what should be our 5th point पंचम पॉइंट कोन हो
Sir, US withdraw करिगला परे regional balance safety
एटा अपन ଗୋଟେ पॉइंट पे कहू ओके यू सेइंग अ पॉइंट
US तो check and balance करो.
ओके जी वेट hold on to your point वो 5th point पे लिख लो जी what should be the 5th point what would be the 5th point
As of now, sir, drugs or arms trade.
सर सेटा तो ऑलरेडी फर्स्ट पॉइंट में लिखी दिले rise in arms and drugs
की करना है बुझो इधर से बुझो how will this be out and that will be a different point जेतबे आपनकर पंजाब आउ जेते पंजाब हरियाणा रीजन और एपट जो ड्रग्स और आर्म्स is it only for the Naxalism for Naxalism को जो लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म को for the organized criminals for the organized crime syndicates बुझी पाइले understood the things supporting rise of the drug and the rise of the arms and drugs trafficking is nothing but supporting the organized criminals. Rise of the left-wing extremism by financially supporting them by providing support with respect to arms, finance, drugs. বুঝিপাইলে বুঝিপাইলে let me write over here another 6 point. 6 point would be very specific. বুঝুন দেখেন in Kashmir, right or wrong? What are the terror groups? Simmi, Lashkar-e-Taiba, LET. They are all being supported by whom? কেমিতি হচ্ছে বুঝুন ধরো তো ইন্ডিয়ার সমান সেই গ্রুপস গুলো সাপোর্ট করছেন কেমিতি সাপোর্ট করছেন the support comes in three forms. Number one again is from the finance, again is from the arms, again is from the drugs, and last but not least providing them hideouts. Jitane, when the Indian army starts its combing operation in the bordering states, they will move over, they will cross the border and move on to the other states. Which way? Did you get that? All the 4 points that they are actually supporting. So all these are same points or different points? All these are different points. আপনার স্পেসিফিক জিনিসটাও ধরেছেন terror, the rise of Taliban will lead to terror increase in the terror activities in Kashmir. How? Providing them arms, drugs, finance, as well as hideouts. How do you want to do it? Right. The brainwashing. Yes. Now, when you come to brainwashing, this is also a very important point, right? Give me the picture. Seventh point, brainwashing. What exactly is brainwashing?
So jihadist.
I'm just writing it roughly. But what is brainwashing? What is brainwashing?
So in the name of religion, they promote the religion.
Okay. Promoting jihad.
Yes, sir.
I see that they are promoting jihad. Which point? Exactly what should be the point? Jihad isn't the exactly they are promoting jihad in India only. No. It will be in entire South Asia. Our focus over here comes not just with India but in entire South Asia.
Kerala region is also.
Kerala, but see, first of all, if I'm saying, let's be very specific. Let's not go with proper thing, but we'll be very specific with that. Community brainwashing. Exactly, they're using the internet as a medium, social media as a medium, which has been utilized to do what? This. Which way?
Yes, sir.
So that is utilization, brainwashing. So should we write brainwashing, or what else should be the thing? Brainwashing, कितने rough है जब, कितने pinpoint करे हो गया मैं. Think of it, English.
Change the mindset of the youth against the
I would say promoting right one. Extremist ideology, called jihad. Carry forward with the lone wolf attack. Lone wolf, if you are making an attack on the kafirs, who are the kafirs? Kafirs who are non-Muslims are called the kafirs. If you are killing the kafirs and if you are attacking the kafirs and if you are destroying the kafirs, then you will be with the Allah in the heaven. Then you will be granted access to heaven. That is the basic ideology. Understood? 17 points. Now, if you had written this all 7 points with this diagram, bloody no one can give data to master 8. 8 और तो कहीं कमी नहीं अभी देखो बोल भाई not a single mark from 8 Jimeli
सर साउथ एशिया का म्यांमार ड्रॉ करेगा तो
yes though it's being केमी केबे को वो अपन को बुझे Myanmar Southeast Asia. To be very precise, Myanmar would be Southeast Asia. But Myanmar is not right now. Myanmar is suffering from the Rohingya crisis. Still ongoing Rohingya crisis. Who are the Rohingyas?
ethnic minority.
The Irrawaddy was practically
The Rohingyas. Rohingyas are the minority Muslims of Myanmar, right?
Rakhine police system.
ବାଂଲାଦେଶରେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଇଣ୍ଡିଆରେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି, କାଶ୍ମୀରରେ ବି ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଆଉ କୁହନ୍ତୁ
Odisha ରେ ଅଛି.
ଓଡ଼ିଶାରେ ବି
West Bengal ରେ Assam ରେ
See, ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷଟା ଖାଲି ବୁଝଉଛି. This is something that we do not have to write, but I'm explaining you the why I have included Myanmar at this. See, what happened during the Rohingya crisis was that Rohingya ମାନଙ୍କର ଆଗ ସେମାନେ କ'ଣ ନା ଝୁଣ୍ଟା attack କଲେ and they were thrown away from their land. The Rohingyas have retaliated with the help of arms and ammunition. Who has provided them? India has not. And Baki could be support from Taliban, right? So my point being, but everyone knows that they are more being supported by Iran and Turkey, the Rohingya, and not Taliban. But I'm saying that rise of extremism could be the possible thing, right? Especially in the Arabian Sea regions and in the Bay of Bengal region. In the diagram, if you're drawing this, kindly do not forget to mention Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Another problem that could be, you have to please write this is number 8, 8 number point आ रही हो कल 8 number point आपको जी with respect to the human rights crisis, right? With respect to the human rights crisis, you are talking rise of terror activities against minority communities in the South Asian region. Which meant, you have a human rights violation going and framing the statement in such a manner, rise of terror activities against minority communities. Example? Who the minorities example? Minorities की
Sir, Sikh
Muslim Sikh community, Jews, Christians, those जो लिखे Sikh, Christian, Jews, आराम से बोलते, किसी टेंशन ना बात, आराम से बोलते, Sikh, Christian, Jews, these are all the communities that will be very much affected by this. Which point? So we got 8 points over here with a proper diagram. No upon guarantee the marks A data properly. And our every point is to the question. Question हमें कभी भी debate नहीं है. 9th number point actually कौन होगा? That is all missed out, but we have said it continuously. Destabilization of the infrastructure projects. Destabilization of the infrastructure projects, especially TAPI project. Which project? India's ongoing project in Afghanistan to stabilize Afghanistan.
so many dams are there.
They are all occupied. Our India's major projects in Afghanistan was humanitarian project. Let us build dam, let us build their parliament, let us build education schools for them, let us build colleges for them. Now all when those are being damaged, what will happen?
Yes.
See, when all these things are being damaged, that means the goodwill of India is being damaged in Afghanistan. India's reputation and goodwill is being damaged in Afghanistan. There will be a repercussion of it. What will be the repercussion of it? The repercussion will be that ultimately a hatred of people towards India will increase. Think of it. India created the India-Afghan friendship dam. Think of it, that it has been destabilized, it's not running, and this, that, and all. People will think that India left us. In the middle of something, India has left us. So obviously there would be an image degradation of India amongst the masses of Afghanistan. And that has a regional security implication. But if we do not even write this point, it's okay. Destabilization of the infrastructure, we just mentioned the TAPI project will not be there. That is fine. Start for the conclusion according to what should be the concluding part of this?
The conclusion is that international always got to the international cooperation of the
Right now, we need very proper and precise. We need international cooperation. We need cooperation from the other states, China, other states, and India needs to be active participant. India needs to continue its dialogue with Afghanistan, with Taliban. India needs to restructure the SARC.
So more functioning of the SARC.
India needs to get back the SARC into the light, and SARC should be used as a platform to stabilize. Got it? बुझी पाइले? Can you write the conclusion? लिखिले आपण नाम सुन देई भूली गली. लिखिले तो.
Also, the New Delhi declaration भी एक नाम से था.
Let us go to the conclusion. Simply, I will say conclusion. India should use SARC as a forum to continue dialogues with the Taliban.
So India should
Utilize SARC as a forum. SARC as a forum to continue dialogue with whom? With Taliban, so as to maintain peace and harmony in the South Asian region. Understood this point? This point is a very pinpoint. How? It says that the question was very much with respect to South Asia and India. And what can India do and how can India take a leadership in this to stabilize the Afghanistan region or to stabilize Afghanistan? India should continue its dialogue because right now we have to accept the reality. Reality is that Afghanistan government is no more and that the present incumbent government of the Taliban, we have to continue talks with the Taliban. Understood? Understood? Only 3 questions we have discussed, but okay, no issues. But we have gained something, right? Which हम फायदा ना, फायदा. So in the next class onwards, time कितना है? Actually, current affairs तो maximum नहीं कर सकते, current affairs ही वहाँ formality दिखेगा नहीं. But anyways, already जो तो current affairs दे दीजिए. So you will be showing me and writing questions. Next class you will be submitting the answers. Right? Answer अपन वाले शुरू अपन वाले कि 80 पर किसी असुविधा नहीं. असुविधा किसी नहीं. Okay. अपन वाले okay, do one thing. This table over here, right? Write your answers. जैसे का question दे भी, तारा answers अपन लिखिए एक table में submit करें offline answers. Again, while doing so, you have to follow which limit? 9 minutes limit. 7 minutes we have to draw the 7 minutes we have to write, and in 2 minutes we have to draw the diagram. Remember that. If you are not doing so, that will be improper. Hello. Chapter strategy is this. Chapter question मुझे भी अपन बनो. On those 4 questions, you have to write the answer. You have to submit me. Submit me by Thursday. I will not give you the entire week. ठीक है जी? You will submit me by Thursday. Chapter question रो. I'll review your questions. अपन diagram भी review करेंगे. चलो. But I want you to do another thing. Chapter question ना अपन लिखी दे. For chapter question अपन को कितने minute allocate हुआ दरकार? 9 4 sir. 36 minutes. Take approximately 40 minutes. 40 मिनट अपन 40 मिनट रे क्वेश्चन लिखिए. बुझ पाए? पेपर अपन मान पाकर अछि सिंपल कह दउछि टेक्निक टा कह दउछि अपन देखो. अपन को नॉर्मल पेपर टा अछि एपट गोटे फोल्ड मारिबे एपट गोटे फोल्ड मारिबे ऊपर गोटे फोल्ड मारिबे क्वेश्चन टा देखिबे एंड देन योर आंसर. 10 मार्क्स पे कितने क्वेश्चन कितने आंसर लिखिबे कितने वर्ड्स लिखिबे 150 रे लिखो. ठीक अछि. 150 do not exceed 150. It should include diagram of flow charts. Without diagrams and flow charts, अपन आंसर टिके चेष्टा करंतु देखो गलत चेष्टा करो किछ हो हार्ड एंड फास्ट धीरे धीरे हम आरंभ करें. You write those questions and after 40 minutes, after 40 minutes प्रतिटी क्वेश्चन रा आपण निजे रिव्यू करके एटलीस्ट मु जानि पे जे आपण आपण क्वेश्चन रिव्यू कर पतली नै बुझ पाले कोन बुझो जे हां बोले सब मत को आपण को कोनटा बुझ रिव्यू करी गले कोन निजे एनालिसिस करी जे से क्वेश्चन रा आपण हाउ केमिति इंप्रूव कर सेटा एटलीस्ट आपण तोड़ लिखि पर आपण एनालाइज करिवे जे सेइतरे आपण एक्स्ट्रा कोन देख पाइबे राइट so you want questions timing will be next time 8 okay सकाळ को किछ असुविधा नहीं 8 is fine okay the first question is analyze the population policy of India analyze the population policy of India and does India needs a new population policy? Elucidate. ELUCIDAT. Analyze the population policy of India and does India needs a new population policy? Number one. Number two. Critically analyze the collegium system in India.
Analyze the
Collegium system in India. COLLEGIUM. Next, fate of the chip CHIP will determine the fate of nation. Hindu article directly
Fate of
article
the chips.
chip CHIP will determine the
Sir,
fate of nation. Fate FAT fate. The first question था
say the third question no
simple third question था आपको क्वेश्चन तो FATE of CHIP will determine the fate of nation. Simple analyze. Last question. What do you understand by the CSR? Understand by the CSR? What do you understand by CSR? CSR means corporate social responsibility. What do you understand by CSR? And what are the problems or the challenges faced by the CSR? Again, direct editorial questions I am giving you.
What are the problems?
And the challenges faced by the CSR. So problems and challenges are one. Remember that problems and challenges are not different but same thing. Simple about challenges like only problem faced with respect to CSR and jot down the points. No issue with that, right? Good. Bujha padla? Right? Okay. Chapter question wala. All these questions will be for 20 markers. I want every question to be written in 20 marks, right? Which one? Can we write in 20 marks? No, if they upon the group reaction, right? Everyone is in the group. Everyone is in the group, right? In the group, I am sending you. Please switch on to your groups. I've shared this in the group ହେଲା ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କ ରେଫରେନ୍ସ ପାଇଁ ଯେଉଁମାନେ ନ୍ୟୁ କମର୍ ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଏଇଟା ମୋର ହିନ୍ଦୁ ନ୍ୟୁଜ୍ ପେପର୍ ଆନାଲିଷ୍ଟଟା ମୁଁ ଯେଉଁ ଦିଏ ତା ଦେହରୁ ମୁଁ ଏଇଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଇଛି ତ କାଇଣ୍ଡଲି ଏଇଟା ଆପଣ ୟୁଜ୍ କରନ୍ତୁ ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ହେଲା somewhat ମୁଁ ହିଣ୍ଟ ଦେଇଛି ପ୍ଲିଜ୍ ରିମେମ୍ବର ଦିସ୍ ଭେରି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟଲି ସେଥିରେ ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ ଫ୍ରେମୱାର୍କ ଦେଇକି ବୁଝେଇବାକୁ କେତେଟା ପୁରା ଡିଟେଲ୍ସରେ ଅଛି ବଟ୍ ମୁଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା ଜିନିଷଟା ଯଦି ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ପଢ଼ିକି ଲେଖିବା ପାଇଁ ବି ପଢ଼ିକି ଲେଖନ୍ତୁ ବଟ୍ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଛି ଯେ ଆପଣ ଟିପିଛନ୍ତି ପଢ଼ି ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ଟିପିବେ that's no problem ପଢ଼ିକି ବୁଝିକି ଲେଖି ଆରାମସେ that will be beneficial ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି with this will end the class ଯଦି କିଛି ରେସ୍ପେକ୍ଟିଭଲି କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ଟେଲିଗ୍ରାମ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ଏଇଟା ପଚାରିପାରିବେ କିଛି ଟେନସନ୍ ଓକେ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ଆପଣ ଯଦି ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ଏଠି ବସିକି ପଢ଼ିପାରିବେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ। ଖାଲି ମାନେ ଏବେ ବସିକି ପଢ଼ିପାରିବେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ମାନେ ବି ଆସିବେ ମାନେ ପାଠତୁଲ କରିବେ ଏଣ୍ଟାୟାର ଟୋଟାଲ୍ ତଳ ଉପରଟା ଲାଇବ୍ରେରୀ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ